you are watching in live time, in real time, should I say, welcome. If you're watching the playback, welcome. I just, I'm in here cooking for the night, cleaning my kitchen, just doing my normal mom stuff, getting the house dinner and supper or whatever you want to call it, y'all. And I'm gonna just have to be honest. Like, I just need to talk. Like, if you can relate, I know typically on the channel we don't really talk politics, but I'm tired of that. Like, I feel like nobody is talking about the things that we are all not necessarily just feeling, because sometimes you have to take the emotions out of stuff, and y'all have to forgive me. Y'all know I'm just getting over the flu. Sydney has strep. I feel like now I'm coming down with strep. I'm sick. My hair, I ain't even combed it today. I had a ponytail in and lashes and all that yesterday. I was looking cute. Today, that ain't the thing. But I'm feeling the effects. I have two kids. I don't want to cry. I have two teenage daughters in college. Two different colleges, two daughters. One 19, one 18. I have a 16-year-old in the house. She'll be getting ready to graduate. She's a junior this year. She'll be getting ready to graduate from high school next year. And when I tell you, like, it's really disheartening. Like, I don't care how well you're doing. I have a rental property, thank God, that helps to offset like some of the bills and things like this. And as a licensed cosmetologist, no, I'm not doing clients anymore, but I still substitute teach in the school system, stuff like that. So that brings in like an extra income on top of that. And of course, I'm dating. Most of you know that I used to be married. I'm divorced, so I am currently dating my we he helps and stuff like that too. I'll just put it like that. I don't want to, I'm very private, so I be trying not to get too personal. Let me show y'all what I'm cooking too, because like we about to really have a conversation. So I just got some ribs going, some cream corn, some sweet peas because Sydney don't like ribs, and the rice is finishing up. So this is the meal for tonight. So this is like a little live stream lifestyle. If this is your first time to the channel, y'all know I talk everything beauty, hair, lifestyle, fashion, all that good stuff, and I talk about real things. But I want to know, like, I have to know, like, am I the only parent feeling like this? When yes, y'all can say all day like people didn't read Project 25. I did not vote Trump, and I typically, whoever you want to vote for, that's who you want to vote for. I see all kind of posts on social media all the time. Like, I just saw, I just commented to another YouTuber, Peyton Charles, here on YouTube, because she had posted where somebody was basically like, they called her out because she was talking about Trump on her channel. And I just was like, as a YouTuber who is not to the extent that she is, like, I don't really be in people DMs like that. But when I see certain things that catch my attention, I respond. And I guess to me, I just felt like, well, she's talking about, she hates that people are talking about these things online, but she only singled that lady out. So that just like, it's crazy, because I feel like if you want to say you want to unsubscribe to your favorite YouTubers or your favorite Instagram people, your favorite TikTokers, whatever the case, people on Facebook, that's fine. You have that right. But don't single out like one person. This is not me coming to nobody's defense. I'm just saying, don't single out like one particular person, but you're talking in general. And I just feel like, I said all that to say, I feel like that's the climate. I feel like that's the climate we're in. People are upset about the things Trump is doing. He's taking food stamps away from, well, he's trying to freeze. Let me not say he's taking. I want to quote things like they're happening. People were all, oh, the immigrants need to be gone. He's coming in people's houses, ICE, all this stuff. I shouldn't say he, but he has the National Guard, the Army, whoever, going in, they're taking people, you know, things like that. Don't get me wrong. I agree. People should not be here illegally. You should be getting your citizenship, but I do feel like there should be something that's, if people are working on that and they're in the process of that, why would you still take them? They're in the process. I watched a guy on the news sit up there right here in Texas saying how they came and they took his wife out of there and she's in the process of going through all of this, right? Her paperwork, it's in the process. It's not like she hasn't even just started it. They came in there to cut the lights off in his house and took the woman out, right? I'm washing dishes, y'all. So y'all I need to add a little bit more water to my gravy. On top of that, he's sitting up here and they're putting a freeze and everything on assistance for families, for low-income families, senior citizens, different minorities, people who need help. So, like, if your child gets daycare assistance, right? If your child eats free or reduced lunch, now as somebody that's in the school system, this is real, like, messed up. All these things are frozen until under review. Why? Like, why are we doing stuff like this? I feel like then you have the man come on TV talking about we need to be teaching kids to get a job so they're not dependent on the government and they're not dependent on, like, so you want a 5-year-old child, you want a teenager that should be focused on their schoolwork, you want people like that. Most of us got our starts in fast food. Like, it's so set up for, that's just how the economy goes. If you don't have your own business, if you don't have an entrepreneurial mindset or trying to make some type of money for yourself, you're going to work for somebody else. But this is the part that gets me. This is the part that they forget. This is why I say God is going to always show you that he's God. Because while y'all sitting up here trying to make it certain ways, most black women, the majority of black women are successful in their own right. We make up the money. We own the businesses. We are the people behind some of these 500 Fortune companies and different things like this. Like, hell, we're our own CEOs. We're like all this stuff. So when you sit up and you try to make it like we're the ones in poverty, we're the ones, and another, like, I'm tired of it. When people be like, well, it's not, people voted for Kamala, the black vote was there. It's not just about the black vote, y'all. It's not just about the black vote. I live in Texas. I can come out of my house right now and I'll see Trump flags all down my street still, and the election is over. I live in Texas where this whole state is red. I'm from South Louisiana. That whole state is always red. The entire country was red. It's not, we can't just say like they just didn't want a woman president. It wasn't just about a woman president. I think people want change, right? They want some type of change. And since I've been a little kid, it's always the same thing. Like when you see Democrats come into office, right? They come in and they have to try to fix everything that Republicans done. Well, when you see Republicans come into the office, they come into the office and they feel they're going to fix everything that the Democrats did wrong, right? It's like a constant pull. Me as a person, I just sit up, like, I'm 42. At 42, I'm sitting up and I'm like, when do we just come to a point where everybody can sit down and we meet halfway? We talk halfway. Like it has to come to that point, because let me tell you something, as a homeowner, I don't care if you don't have a mortgage or not. I feel like I still have a mortgage, and let me tell you why. Property taxes are ridiculous. And if you know anything about paying property taxes, whether you have a mortgage is coming out when you pay your mortgage each month, or you gonna pay it in a lump sum, whether you save throughout the year to pay it or whatever it is you do. But when I sit up, and don't get me wrong, I don't feel like we should not pay property taxes, but how can you really say that you own something outright if the government can still come and take what it is that you own outright? Like those are things like that. When I sit up and I just look at this world, when I look at how we say other countries or third world countries and all this other stuff, and how America has all these things, why are people still paying for lights? Why are people still paying for water? Why are people out here without these things? Or these companies can turn your stuff off at any given moment. I'm not exempt from none of this, right? I'm. Can y'all still hear me? I don't know if y'all can still hear me. Somebody was calling me while I was on my phone. I just, it don't make sense to me. You talking about playing with people's financial aid, so now you have schools, I think it's University of Texas or either UA, one of them. They're like, well, look, if your family makes under $100,000, you can come to school for free. Yeah, but like, why are we playing with kids' financial aid? Like, for real, for real? I'm sitting up like with two in college, one that's a sophomore, one that's a freshman. Like, can I afford, like, y'all, these are the stressors that I have. Can I really afford to put my kids through college? Let's not talk about child support. You can't sit up and say, well, I can depend on child support, I can depend on these things. You got to go back to court if you want to do all those things and get this person to come and join in and do that, or trust that they're going to just help you, right? You know, and do the right thing. Like, I know I have kids. Like, are you going to help with your kids, right? So for me, it that support ain't there. And that's not to put nobody down or say nothing like that. I'm doing this literally by myself. I'm paying for tuition, I'm paying for stuff, I'm sitting up here trying to help get books for two kids, make sure that they have the things they need for their dorm rooms, still send them money so they can get stuff to eat, pay for a meal plan. Like, these things cost. I don't ever complain about what I have to pay for, because I feel like I always find the positive and stuff. And I trust God. Like, one thing I know for sure is God is going to never lead me wrong. He's never going to steer me wrong. He's going to always do stuff. But I've always been a responsible person at the same time. Right now, the whole reason I just want to either rent or sell my house is just to make sure even more that my kids are secure, that my kids are having the things that they would need, despite what it is Trump does, despite what it is the Republicans pop out and say, or what jumps off, or what happens, right? Like, for me, it's the smart thing to do. I can, and I don't say sacrifice, because I feel like these are things we deserve, right? You shouldn't be talking about, I sacrifice this for my kids, I sacrifice. No, God says anything good is for us. That's the way he created it. That's the way it's supposed to be. So anything you want, sis, that's for you. So for me, I feel like, okay, God, everything I have, you've given to me. Everything I have, so I trust you in every situation, everything of it. But I'm also thankful that God gives me wisdom. He is at the root of every single thing I do. And when I say at the root of everything, he is my foundation, true and true. And that's not just because I'm a pastor's kid. That's not just because I was raised in church. That's just because my relationship with God means that much to me. That is what got me through my first divorce, my second divorce. That's the ear that's been in my spirit to tell me what's right, what's wrong, what not to do, what to do. That's the first voice I heard when I knew that I was pregnant, that said, okay, as a mom, I have this. I'm going to be okay, right? So that's all I know to trust. That's all I know to do, because despite what Trump do, like, to me, it's just been a fit. Like, he's like a little kid. Like, I don't know if y'all deal with toddlers. If you have toddlers, if your sister got a kid, your brother got a kid, if you work in a school district, he is like a child to me, begging for attention. Everything is, I'm signing this because of this. First it was Obama, now it's Biden. I'm gonna sign this because they said this. So I'm gonna do this. Like, he done signed so many things just to say he's signing it. Y'all, at this point, it's like, sir, do you sleep? Do you pee, poop, eat? Like, don't you have all these kids, a wife? Like, do you even tend to home? Like, it's a mockery. He got his what's the lady? I don't want to say his justice of the peace, Lord. What his secretary, his right hand person. He got her to sit up there, and now she done told Elon he got to be across the street over here. He can't talk to Trump directly. That's going to be, I guarantee y'all, that's going to be a mockery of a show. This man sat up on national TV of Martin Luther King Jr. holiday and disrespected the country, Jews, people that went through the Holocaust and all of that on national TV, and they're sitting up making excuses for the behavior, gaslighting people, making excuses, trying to control the narrative and make people think we didn't see what we saw. So this is my thing. If we know we saw what we saw, right? We saw it. Biggest day. When do we stop allowing other people to try to dictate, take us back thousands of years? Because at this point, that's what it is that they're trying to do, and take control of what it is we want. To me, I don't wish bad on nobody, but I can't even say they're going to impeach him at this point. Child, let me check my rice at this point, because hell, like I said, I can walk out the yard and it's Trump signs everywhere. Now, don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean that I don't have great neighbors or friendly neighbors or whatever. We are all entitled to our own opinions, whether our political views are the same or not. But at the end of the day, I know what you support. And it makes me feel like, and it makes me look at you like, okay, well, you support these things, you agree with these things, you voted this person in, whether you did it. And at least to me, I feel like this. At least when you got your flag in your yard, I know who you are. I can see you coming. It's the people that threw the rocks and hid their hands. It's those people that make me feel uneasy about, about stuff, because it's just like you smiling and talking in my face. On my day-to-day, I don't mess with friends that's like that. I don't talk to people like this, like that. And y'all, I'm just telling you, as a mom, when your child calls, my child called me today. My freshman daughter called me today, concerned, like, mommy, that's why it's so important, y'all, to go and vote. And let me tell you how they played. Like, my kids, they couldn't even vote on their campuses because they were like, oh, you have to be able to go here and go here. It was so many things. And when you hear Trump sit up and verbally say, hey, Elon really knows those machines. He really knows, how to get the vote and this, and that. Like, who are we grooming? Because Barron, I don't give a care how tall Barron is. Is he trying to start a legacy and have his son come? Because when he sat up and said, like, I promise y'all, when he sat up and said that my son told me what podcast to go on, what to do, and this, and that, and that, and the USA has never won the young vote. They've never won it, and I want it. Like TikTok. TikTok is gone. TikTok was gone because they have concerns for Americans and national things. But people are so fixated on, oh, I have to do my social media, or I have to do this, or I have to do that, until they don't even really understand why TikTok was gone. Why not come to an app that, like YouTube, where it's not going to go nowhere? It's an American, you're going to be safe for the most part. They up here talking about going to read something and all this other stuff. It's in Chinese, for Christ's sake. Why would you leave one to go to something else? To me, that just sounds worse. Like, I don't know. I never really got into TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I find myself when I'm on TikTok scrolling, but I can't tell you one creator that I follow on there, because it is such, you just continuously be moving on there till you really don't know who you follow, who you don't follow, who you continue, unless you personally know them or continually go back to go and scroll. You're just scrolling. You're just looking at reels and scrolling, and maybe something catches your eye about a topic and you stop and you comment, and then you continue on to scroll. At least on Instagram, even though I feel like Instagram is all for facade. I'm just being for real. Everybody, like, for it's a facade. People get dressed up to go and take a picture, to present themselves as, oh, I'm living this type of lifestyle, I'm living that type of lifestyle, I'm doing this, I went on this trip, I paid for this, I drive this car. It's a facade. And most people don't resonate with that. But the reason you see a lot of people that have these major followers on there, if it's not for the personality, then it's going to be because people always want what they can't have. People are never satisfied with what it is they have. So when they see that, then they feel like, oh, okay, if you on a yacht, I can be on a yacht. If you live in a mansion, I can live in a mansion. Like I don't want to say it's like the American dream, but it's just, I'ma just digress. All I know, my meat done, child. All I know is that the only person who cares about it's him. Wait, Prince Daniel said the only person he only cares about is himself. That's all about himself. Yeah, it is all about himself. He says he has the mindset set of a toddler for me. You are doing a wonderful job. Hey, Jared, thank you. What's up, sis? Hey. It's just crazy to me, y'all, because you can work all your life to set yourself up and do everything. And that's why I always try to tell people, like, it's important to do things and be smart about what you do. Get life insurance, like, for real, and build your generational worth. If you can, go in with other people. One thing we don't do enough as Black families, when our kids graduate, we quick to kick them out the house. You know, I told all of mine, if you need to come back during college, after college, whatever, you can always come home. If you need to stay here to save your money, you can always come home. Like, we don't do like a lot of other people and, you know, say like, I wish me, my brother, and my sister would have turned around and, you know, bought a first home together, and then we all would have been splitting the stuff and doing all of that or whatever. And then right after that, you know, turn around and turn it into an investment property and pull the equity and go pull out another one. I wish at 18 I would have been thinking like that, right? Like, I think like that now. I wasn't thinking like that at 18, just being honest. I was talking to, well, actually, Beau said it to me the other day. And it's so crazy. I've been here almost 4 years, never really paid attention to it. On this cul-de-sac that I live on, there's only two homes. One, the person is single. The other home is my home, where it's not multiple people in the house living and doing all of that. And every other home on this cul-de-sac, it's about 5 or more people living in the house splitting bills. I wish, let me tell you how much I wish. I wish that I could be in that type of situation. It would surely be another blessing to a blessing, because the way these bills be billing over here, the way that I be in here stressed, like, okay, God, let me pull from this one to take care of this, and okay, all right, like, I'm on payment plans with the school, like, okay, I gotta make this payment by this date, I gotta make that payment by that date, okay, let me pull this, like, it's just, y'all don't care what you have, save. If you got stuff in ROAs and all that, do not borrow from it. Do not, because the penalty for the taxes and everything else is just not worth it. Like, I'd rather live every day with the income I have coming in than to pull from something that I know is a nest egg just to pay bills to other people and make them rich. Hell no. Like, at the end of the day, I just can't do it. I didn't watch my parents work that hard, my grandparents work that hard for me to be uneducated or not be financially literate in certain areas. It just does not make sense to do. And those are the things, that's why I say, like, it's not a flex to be sitting up there saying that you give your kids whatever it is you didn't have. I've never been that mama. Like, I had everything I needed, even things that I wanted growing up as a child, right? I'm still washing dishes, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm about to get ready to eat. And so I thank God that my grandparents did raise me. I was in the house with them, and I was raised by old people. Call me an old soul, call me whatever it is you want. But one thing I'm so glad about, and I told this to Robin the other day when we were talking, Because for those of y'all that's new to the channel, if y'all didn't know, I was my mom's caregiver before she passed. And so therefore, with that being said, to watch somebody that was born in the 1920s, okay, sit up and watch COVID happen at the time when she got diagnosed with mesothelioma. COVID was happening. It was fresh. You're talking about we sitting up watching the news, watching them take people's bodies. It's raining outside. Watching them take people's bodies and put them in goddamn 18-wheelers. Like, I remember her saying to me, like, I won't even be able to have a funeral. I won't even be able to, you know. And I'm like, Mom, you'll have those things. Like, don't, like, and to sit up and her watch Trump after all the stuff. This woman lived through the Depression, just so many different things, right? And for her to have still at 90 something years old been here watching, almost baby, watching this man get on TV and make a mockery of stuff. I'm glad she's not here to deal with that type of stuff. I'm glad she don't have to continuously see it, because it's sickening for me. It's sickening for me to sit up and have to deal with it, and I'm only 42 years old. Like, it's like, I watch the news every morning. Beau gets up at 4. I'm one of them people, once I'm up, I can't go back to sleep. So, my Today Show, I have to wait for that to come on, because I used to just catch my Today Show. I watched the 6 o'clock news, then the Today Show would come on at 7. Y'all, this morning I couldn't even watch the Today Show. I was so over it. I just had to catch the 10 o'clock hour. Like, okay, let me, child, I can't, like, it's disheartening. It's disheartening. It really is. And people play too much. I think people don't realize, like, a lot of stuff that happens and goes on is a whole nother story behind it, right? But people get on, like, we're so big in this cancel culture and all this other stuff, and because the internet said it, we're gonna run with it. Well, when it's coming directly from the horse's mouth, what do we do then? Because if we can move to get people, you know, discredited, and I'm not defending none of this stuff, but if we can sit up and talk about Bill Cosby, talk about R. Kelly, talk about who's in trouble right now, Diddy, and all this other stuff, and don't realize the hidden agendas behind it, where's the same energy? And I'm not saying everybody don't, but I'm just saying, y'all, where's the same energy when it comes to Trump, when it comes to his staff? Like, where was that when it came to, do you know there are a lot of people that did not get out and vote, and that's crazy in itself to me. That's crazy in itself to me. And a lot of people walk around and be like, look, we're not affected by this. We're not affected by this. It don't affect nothing I do. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. At the end of the day, you vote for who you want to vote for, right? You support who you want to. But what are we supporting? What type of time are we living in? Like, I'm a person that I want to live to be well over 100. I want to see, like, my great grandchildren. You know, I want to see legacy. I want to still be moving around and able-bodied and stuff. I don't know if we going through all of this in 2025, what are we going to be expecting? Like, I'm just being for real. As the Bible says, we don't live in fear. So I'm not going to say, like, I'm fearful, I'm scared. I know God got us, right? I know God has me. Like, people always like to say, God don't play about me and this. No, God don't play about nobody. He loves us all. That's why he sent his son, and his son died on the cross for all our lives, for the omission of all of our sins. So the biggest thing I can say is we have to trust God. But I mean, like, I don't know, y'all. They take prayer in and out the school, but then you want to do a moment of silence. What is the moment of silence really for? Because the moment of silence is literally 2 seconds long. And you talking to somebody that's in the school district, that's watching stuff, that's looking at the things. You're talking about somebody that sits on committees for the school district, which I need to go to some of the meetings for this year because I haven't been going to stuff. Look, man, this economy is just hard. It's just hard, y'all. And to me, I feel like anything I need to adjust to always make sure that my kids are going to be okay, I will do in a quickness. If I need to put this house up to rent and move into another property, I will. If I need to sell this home just to, get that extra cash in my pocket, I will. Because at the end of the day, I'm not about to let this man that don't care about nobody but himself sit up and play with my legacy, my children, my things like this. Like, I can't do it. I was talking to my sister earlier today, and we were talking about daycare and stuff like this. Now, they pay for their daycare. They don't get assistance and stuff like that, but she used to own a daycare. Just even thinking about that type of stuff, we both were just heartbroken, like sad. It's just like, man, what is really... The Bible say the least you do to my little ones, the least. Yes, I do believe in the Holy Trinity, Barbara, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I surely do. I hope you do too. I surely do. I typically don't talk religion and politics on the channel because it's such a touchy subject, and you never really want to offend anybody. I never want to disrespect anybody in their things, but like, man, this is where the conversations need to be and need to start. Because maybe if people stop having these kitchen conversations in their homes and just talking about it there, and you really use your platform to discuss certain things and talk about certain things, like if I'm a lifestyle vlogger and this is affecting my lifestyle, why would I not talk about it? Why would I not talk about it? And somebody that's watching me feels the exact same, or somebody that's watching me doesn't feel the same, and that's okay too. But let's have the conversation. Let's be respectful and have the conversation, because I don't know. I'm worried. I'm just looking at the economy. I'm looking at things. I'm looking at the banks. I'm looking at everybody. Every single thing, I'm looking at it. Praying my lights don't go out. It's storming outside, y'all. It really is. Oh. It really is. I need to boil some more water to put in with my hot water, because I don't like when my dishwater get lukewarm. I like my dishwater to be hot, honey. That's why I keep them gloves right here. When they get too hot on my little hands, I go ahead and I put it in. And y'all gotta forgive me for how I'm looking. I didn't even really pick up the camera today, because I didn't want to come on camera like this, just for the fact that I've been in the house all day and just kind of, I don't want to say look a mess, but I look like I've been in the house all day doing things, right? So y'all have to forgive me, but I mean, it's 8 o'clock at night. I don't know how y'all expect me to look. I don't know, y'all. I'm just praying. You know, when Trump sits up and he says now, like, they're gonna take child support, and if he gets child support, then he can file for taxes. Well, this is the thing. Like, this is why I say sometimes we gotta educate ourselves. If he paid child support, he was always able to file taxes on the child. It's just one of those things you discuss with the non-custodial parent. Like, hey, are you claiming the kids this year, or am I? Now, rightfully so, if they are with you and you are the custodial parent and you take care of more than 50% of everything, then I don't see the discussion. But at the same time, if you one of those, you scratch my back, I scratch your back, then I can understand the discussion. Or if that person provides via child support and then they also send extra on top of that, then I can see the discussion. It's a lot of things to it. But I think so many people getting all worked up because, oh, well, he said they can file child support now. Let's be more realistic. They always could, because if they have joint custody, they can file. If they have the socials of your children, they can file. So it's just whoever files first, to be, if we just being completely honest. But I don't think that we as moms, and I'm talking about me as a mom who receives child support from my children, um, have really anything to worry about when it comes to that, right? Now I get it. All daddies aren't respectful. All daddies aren't responsible, trustworthy. I get it. But that is not all daddies. That's not all black men. That's not, there are exceptions. Everybody, whether you want to call him your ex-husband, your boyfriend, your baby daddy, whatever it is, everybody is not a bad person, right? Everybody is just not. God has blessed me to where the few men that have been in my children's lives, one their dad, two my second, well, let me say ex-husband because we're not married, and the person I'm currently involved with, have all been good examples in my daughter's lives. So there are black men out there, y'all, that are not like that, that will love your children the same way and will help and do stuff and everything like that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not making no excuses, but I'm just saying, like, don't, we are in a climate where you cannot allow everything, because to me, Trump is a goon. He's a goon. That's what it is. He's a clown and he's a goon, or however you want to put it. That's just what it is. Like I said, a toddler, temper tantrums every other day, or oh, I'm gonna do this just because of this, and just to be spiteful, or to, one thing Trump has mastered is social media. He can get on any platform and he can control that algorithm. And that is what won him the election each time. So if we know that social media is his his coal and his fire, then we know that's where he's gonna come and try to say and do everything. But y'all, that's why we have governments, and that's why we, like, I just wish more states would do like New York, sue his behind, because you cannot come and freeze government assisted programs that give money to people because you want to prove a MF point. That's all I'm saying. Let's just be classy about it. That's all I'm saying, y'all. So on some of this stuff, I just feel like if you are a praying person, and we all know prayer without faith and works is dead. So if you are a praying person and you really trust God, you just know God ain't gonna do people like this. God is real, regardless of whatever your religious beliefs are. God is real, and we are covered by the blood of the Lamb. We are covered by Jesus, his son that died for us. So if I can say anything to y'all before I go and fix dinner for my family tonight, my beautiful family, even though I have two in college, I'm gonna forever, one thing that's gonna be true about me, I'm gonna forever use myself as an example. Y'all be smart about the things. I've been praying and fasting, and it's not just a quick decision for me. I've only been in my home 3.5 years. And about a year ago, actually when Tony graduated, so 2 years ago, I started thinking about selling, just because of how I was looking at my stocks, how I was looking at this economy. Like, the groundwork was there. Now we have the look. When you say this is America's golden years, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But what I'm gonna say is, when you have someone that causes other countries to sit up and laugh at our own country. I just watched Dave Chappelle's Saturday Night Live that he did when they brought him back right after the election. And one thing he said, he was talking about President Jimmy Carter. He was talking about how he went there and he handled himself with class and how he represented the country. And so he was also saying, like, Trump, whatever it is you're doing, like, let's keep that at the forefront. I really hope, like, it's sad to say that because somebody gonna probably come for me in the comments, but That's why I say you need mustard seed faith, and faith is without works. God is real, so I'm trusting that God is gonna move in a mighty way with all of this, because at this point, when we sit up and pledge allegiance to a flag, when we sit up and we sending our soldiers to wars and to all these things, like at this point, what, and like with this man in office, what are we doing? Literally, what are we doing? Family entities are feeling this, and I really feel like in the black community, we already be fighting against a lot of stuff. You don't have many homes that are two-parent homes. You have a lot of like I wasn't raised in a single family home, but that's no knock to the next person that was. But I'm just saying, it's already so much against us. It's so much against us. We up here talking about generational wealth, and a lot of us are first time millionaires in our family, or people are, and I'm not saying I'm no millionaire, so don't that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying you see it, but then you see it more in, let me not say that. You see it, but then you see it propositioned to you as that only happens if you're in entertainment, whether that's sports, actress, a singer, something like this. That's the only way you can attain that type of wealth, when that is not true. You actually have a lot of old money, and I ain't talking about no trend for YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. I'm talking about you have a lot of families that have old money, and you have a lot of families that really did set themselves up. But those things won't be talked about, because that's too much like right. That's too much like right to say that black people doing something right, or anything else. But then when you look at the statistics, and you look at people who are business owners, and all these black businesses that are in these stores like Target and Walmart and all this other stuff, and then they want to say, well, don't stop shopping with us because it hurts us. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You cannot participate. You can't straddle the fence when it comes to segregation, regardless of who that's against. You just can't. So my thing is, in a time where you have, like, that's one thing I'll give like Super Sin and Judy and all of them, baby, they gonna navigate some social media. If y'all don't know who they are, they from South Louisiana. They gonna navigate some social media, and they gonna put their business wherever it is they gonna put it, but they still gonna have their business online. In a time when most people shop online, you don't think people have a control over their dollar, of where they're going to spend their dollar. I watched Tabitha, I'm not really familiar with her, but I watched her online, where people were like, she said everything without saying anything, because she was sitting eating grapes, right? It was real cute for social media. But then she turned around and did another post that I just had to click off of, because she was sitting up talking about how when you do this, you hurt you hurt this and all this other stuff. And I said, now, baby, how we gonna be? And I get it. I think she have like her own seasoning line and like other stuff, and all this stuff. I get it. Everybody is in it. Honestly, I'm gonna tell y'all what it is. Everybody's in survival mode. Whether you at the cream of the crop or you the bottom of the barrel, everybody is in survival mode. And I think this is the part that it just disturbs my soul. But I pray. I'm gonna be steadfast in my prayers. I'm gonna trust God in whatever it is. And I know for me and my household, first thing we doing is serving God, because He's our foundation. Second thing we gonna do is we gonna be smart about how we spend it. Like, y'all know, at the end of the day, I love me a good luxury shoe. I love me some good luxury stuff, baby. It ain't even on my mind right now. But I have so many things till it's kind of like, okay, I'm content with what I have. I don't have to have the shark boot. I don't have to have this right now. I've never been that type of person. I've never been like a super flashy person. I'm not a person that flexes, or that's just not my personality. It's a lot of stuff that I have and people don't even know I have it, but I was raised that way. I was taught, you don't let your left hand know what your right hand have. You don't be prideful and boastful and things like that, right? Like, everybody ain't got to know your move and what you're doing and stuff. So you move in silence. You have discretion about yourself. And it's not because you're trying to hide nothing, or because you think you're better than the next person. It's none of that. It's just that ain't everybody damn business. It's just not. Why is it my business what you make or what you do or what you buy or what you didn't buy? I had a whole damn X7 and paid for, title, the whole thing. You don't believe me? Go check the video on my channel. And guess what? I let that go. It broke down on me one time. Oh baby, that's the thing. My Dodge ain't did none of that. You think I'm not in competition with nobody? I don't care. I don't have to. I just took my children, Robin, and Tony. Tony was on FaceTime. I took them to places that I plan to get a vehicle from them, and I'm still in the process of reading reviews on both these vehicles. We went to Mercedes, we went to BMW, but is that everybody's business? No, because at the same time, if I decide that I want to get them something out of Dodge or I want to get them something from here, that's what I'm gonna do. But I don't know, y'all. I just believe you don't put targets on your back because people start asking for stuff. People start, expecting you to do certain things. Like, that's why a lot of our athletes go broke. They be taking care of every damn body, like everybody for no reason. And then when they hit a thing and the money done ran dry, the people not there. And it's the same thing, y'all. Like, I could talk about this stuff all day. I really can. I could talk about it all day. A lot of times people don't want to talk about those types of things, but when my mom passed, it was a uproar in the family because certain people felt entitled and felt like they should have got stuff. And I was never one that asked for shit. Only thing I asked and was praying for was that God kept her here, that I got her better, and she was able to go home. Like that was her thing. That was it. I wasn't expecting anything, and yet she left me everything. Right? That puts a target on your back. But see, people be so afraid to talk about those things because they feel like, oh, well, don't put the family out here like this. Don't. I feel like what's that movie? Soul Food. F the family. The family was effing my cousin, right? Not in that necessary scenario, but that's what I'm just saying. Like, I think it's stuff like we have to stop, because when we do these things, we enable it. When we sit up and we talk in our homes and amongst ourselves, we enable Trump and everybody else to run these narratives and do these things. When we sit up in our homes and we keep things quiet and you don't say nothing, this is why things are happening in our community that should not be happening. Like, I don't know, because history always repeats itself. But when I sat up and watched that man throw that sign up on the TV, I said, okay, God, on Martin Luther King Day, like, what are we about to have a march on Washington? Are we about, like, what are we preparing ourselves for? What are we preparing ourselves for? Somebody on social media was like, I know we all want to go the MLK way, but maybe we need to go the Malcolm X way. And like, y'all, that, like, I was sitting there like, I don't know. And I think our youth, I'm not going to say they're uneducated, because I educate minds. I just told y'all, they called me today and we were talking about stuff, but so many of our youth are oblivious because they are glued to freaking TikTok and glued to Instagram reels and lifestyles of people going rent stuff and going in debt, and they leasing shit to get, to look different and all. Like, it's you do whatever it is you want to do. But I'm just saying, like, at some point, reel the youth back in, because at 42, I am considered, like, when we were growing up, was considered to be over the hill. And then when I got to college, Jay-Z was up there to my 40 is the new 20. So, now I think the over the hill age has changed. I don't know. I'm going to tell you like this. My body be feeling it. My foot be feeling it. My Achilles heel be feeling it. So all I'm saying is that now my daughters are coming into being young adults. And it's like, it's scary. They're trying to raise the retirement age. It's scary. Student loans are ridiculous. Just saying, y'all, as a mama, I got some real life concerns. Like, so when you see me moving certain ways in the vlogs, understand, I got real life concerns. I'm not out here trying to put on for nobody. For nobody. You see me conserving water, lights, and everything else. Hey, I got two in college. It is what it is. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.